It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Wednesday morning. It is February the 5th. I'm feeling gassy, and I'll explain why in just a few moments. Let's get right to your top 5 at 6, shall we? A couple years ago, I was getting ready to move to Minnesota, a little over 2 years ago, and everybody said, oh, man, get ready to eat some beaver like never before.
Wow.
I was like, wait, really? Wait, hold on, what? That's right. Minnesota senators proposing the reversal of a law that banned the consumption of nuisance beavers last year in Minnesota. We're just wanting to eat beaver again. Legally eating beaver in Minnesota. It's on the way back, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about this last year, and now apparently, the people have had enough. It's like, by God, if I can't pull over and find myself a beaver to eat, then what's the point of driving through this beautiful state?
Right? I want to run his re-election campaign. Let's go.
What do you think you might get for a tag? Got beaver? There he is, Senator.
We can't eat beaver. That's just ridiculous. I think maybe it got overlooked. I don't know what happened there. What are we talking about? We're talking about the legalities of eating beaver. That's just ridiculous. So I eat beaver. It's fine. No one's going to get in trouble for doing it. I don't know why this is in the bill.
Have you guys eaten beaver before?
No.
No, I have.
No, I have not.
How to taste that?
Here, one tip for you. Shave the beaver.
Yeah?
Yeah, shave the beaver. You don't want...
Makes a big difference.
Yeah. Why? We've got pork, right? We still got pork. Beef doing okay. We still got that on the shelves, all right? You can go out and shoot yourself some nice venison if you'd like. The last thing I would want to eat is beaver. I mean, I'm just at that age. I feel like I've put in my time.
I watched a bit. There's an outdoor dude on YouTube, and he was trying beaver for the first time. He was surprised by the musky. No, I'm sorry. He said he put a tenderloin from a beaver on a grill and said, "Oh, it kind of tastes like beef." Actually, someone else on the video said, well, I was having a little more gamey, like a venison idea. But last year on the Senate floor, a state senator did say that he referred to beavers as nature's chicken nuggets. Look, at the end of the day, gamey but not terrible. Beaver meat is kind of greasy. It can taste like a lot of things. Basically, it tastes like whatever you want it to taste like. So anyway, if you're a fan of eating beaver, then go with God. That's what I say.
Yeah, it depends regionally, too. Not all beavers are the same. Uptown is different than a downtown beaver. Never mind. I don't know. Why is this illegal in Minnesota? Who passed the law in the first place? But I hardly care.
It's just, but someone out there needs to know this. Go for it, man. We're on your side. Eat all the beaver you can. I think we'd all get never mind. Number 4 on your top 5 at 6. The Chiefs are going for their third in a row. What in sports we call that a three-peat. And if they do, that's great news for Pat Riley. Pat Riley, the Lakers coach of the 80s, Knicks coach of the 90s, coach and runner, the guy that runs the Miami Heat since the mid-90s. He owns the phrase three-peat, has for decades.
How?
Because in the late 80s when the Lakers were going for 3 in a row, he trademarked three-peat as a term. When the Chicago Bulls cashed in 2 three-peats in the 90s, he made money. All the T-shirts, everything ever sold with that word, with that expression, Pat Riley gets a piece of. The Yankees went for some in the World Series. The Lakers got another three-peat in the 90s and 2000s. And now with the Chiefs coming up, they're going to have to pay Pat Riley. Now, he takes all the money from this and donates it to charity.
Okay.
His charity foundation. But the simple fact remains here. If you come up with something along the lines of, and anytime you come up with something witty, like eat a beaver for Minnesota, go ahead and trademark it. You never know when it's gonna cash in for you.
All right.
Number 3 on your top 5 at 6, Waffle House. Not that we have to be concerned about them right around. They're not here, but Waffle House, the wonderful restaurant. That's right. Fine dining experience throughout the South. I love Waffle House. Right. They've added an egg surcharge, 50 cents per egg. They've announced in every Waffle House, whatever you think you're buying here, as many eggs as you order, there's an extra surcharge of 50 cents per. They say it's temporary. The current egg shortage due to an outbreak of bird flu. I was at my neighborhood Lunds the other day and thought, where are all the eggs? Man, we're stockpiling eggs like it's toilet paper in 2020, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is that the deal with the eggs? They're on the shortage. I don't eat a lot of eggs anymore, I grew up eating eggs, but we had chickens, we produced our own eggs.
Yeah.
So, all right, good luck to the folks with the eggs. What about for an extra ashtray at the Waffle House? Do you still have to pay a surcharge for that if you want 2 at your table?
You just got to know how to wink in the right direction.
All right.
The last time I had a meal with a smoking section was not that long ago at a Waffle House. They still exist. And it's just 2 booths in the corner, so don't worry. The smoke will never get near where you're sitting. Incredible. Spring break is coming soon. It's right around the corner, and Miami Beach yet again is rolling out the red carpet with a bunch of glass shards on it. Miami Beach does not want anybody there for spring break. They have released a video. It looks like it's a MTV MTV produced kids having a great time on spring break, and then it immediately devolves into them getting arrested and being told about the rules. They have DUI checkpoints. It costs $100 to park anywhere near the beach. They have very, very strongly enforced curfews. If you are thinking of, or if you know someone who's thinking of going to Miami Beach for spring break, send them. Let's get them all thrown in jail. It's going to be great. They really don't want you.
They don't. I mean, this is what I love about idiots in tourism bureaus and politics and that sort of thing. You don't understand your constituents, the people, the kids. This would get me to book a trip to Miami Beach in a heartbeat if I was young. If you go anywhere else, listen to me, young Minnesotans, if you go anywhere else but Miami Beach, you're just a big pussy. All right? I mean, if you don't go to Miami Beach and go for it, where are you going? I mean, you're phoning in spring break. Come on.
Now, it's been 40 some odd years or whatever since I took in a spring break trip as a college student, but I did not 1 but 2 trips to Daytona Beach in the mid-'80s. Yeah. And I got to say, I totally get why a city would be like, no, you know what? Screw this. I still... I look back on that, and when I got to college, I expected it to be like Animal House. I really did. I walked into college in 1983 like, this is going to be the most fun every day, and then reality hit me, and I was like, no, it kind of sucks. It's really not. No one knows how to have fun like they used to. In my mind, I must have missed it. And then I went to spring break in Daytona Beach, and then I thought, oh my God, I think I need to go back to my little tiny small campus in Kentucky and sit in a quiet, dark room for a while. I saw and did things that made me question the meaning of life, truly.
I know.
And so I get Miami Beach's, I get where they're coming from, but I also, with you, Zep, you know what? Seriously, what sort of self-respecting miscreant doesn't take this as a gauntlet, a challenge to go down to Miami Beach and stir things up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in Florida, that's what you're there for. Quit trying to pretend you're something you're not. You're just our spring break, redneck, backwater, Florida man story place. Be who you are.
Please accept yourselves. And with that in mind, no problem with our friends in Hugo. They know exactly who they are. Hugo, glad to have you listening to us in the morning. A fine community. You can go there and get drunk. They don't care. There's no curfew in Hugo. You know what? Spring break in Hugo. What do you say?
Well, that's not a bad idea. I've had some good times in Hugo.
See? We're all going to have a good time for the rest of the day now that I give you the green light to let it rip, because this is truly, we're not making this up.
Yeah.
Speaking of audio from a staff meeting, National Fart Day. Today is National United States of the God-fearing America Fart Day, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
And just go with it. Let it go. Farts are a sign that your body is getting the fiber it needs and your gut bacterial population is in good shape. Proudly let them rip, would you? Man, they say the average person passes gas between 13 and 21 times a day. Boy, that makes me above average. I'll just tell you right now.
Yeah, I've been celebrating all morning. Sorry about that. I do try to step out. I mean, if we've got just a moment, the late, great George Carlin.
Did you ever have to fart on a bus or an airplane or in some public place, but you hadn't been farting all that day? So you didn't really know the nature of the beast. You only knew there was lots of it. In a situation like that, what you have to do is to release a test fart. You have to arrange to release quietly and in a carefully controlled manner about 10 to 15% of the total fart in order to determine if those around you can handle it.
Yeah.
You got to trust your own personal fartgorithm. That's exactly how you do it. We've all been there. We have all been there. There's your top 5 and 6.
Sports history with the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
It's February the 5th. Let's look back on this day in 2003. Bobby Knight, then coaching the Texas Tech Red Raiders, got his 800th victory in Division I college basketball. He celebrated by throwing a folding chair at a ref, choking a member of his team, and suggesting that colleges drug test all of their students on a daily basis. What a
fun guy.
Sociopath he was.
God, it was fun.
He could coach him up, though. On this day in 1976, the whole world felt like Brian Zepp as we all watched Franz Klammer at the Innsbruck, Austria Olympic Games. I remember suddenly for the first time going, skiers are probably the coolest people on earth. I mean, that dude was working that downhill course every second about to wipe out and somehow never did. I still remember thinking to myself that I've never been more scared to watch a sporting event in my life.
Yeah, terrifying. I like it when you slow them down. They'll do it in slow motion now for the Olympics, and you watch their skis almost never touch the snow. They're literally just falling down a mountain at maximum overdrive.
Yeah, back when the Olympics were the Olympics, man. 76 Austria,
right.
Come on. Me, you,
those
Dorothy
skis
Hamill,
they were on.
there.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
On June the 12th at the Ledge Amphitheater, ZZ Top will be rocking and a-rolling and a-bluesing and a-grooving. The Wallflowers on that bill. What a bill. The Wallflowers opening for ZZ Top. We got a couple tickets we'd love to give away right now. We're going to play a good old-fashioned round of twofer. And it looks like we have Tina from Elk River on hold to play the game. Tina, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, Tina. Give me your favorite band.
The Rolling Stones.
I like them myself. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Minnesota Twins.
Nice. I like the Stones and the Twins. All right, Tina, this is how it works. Twofer, Ryder hangs out in bars way, way too often. And when she's there, she likes to spend time hanging out, talking to people. She asks a typical barfly 5 questions. We're going to put the same 5 questions to you. And if you guys match at least 2 of the answers, you win the tickets. You got it?
I got it.
All right, here we go. Your first question, Tina. Name a food people typically put Tabasco sauce on.
Burritos? Mexican?
Okay, burritos / Mexican. We'll go with it. All right, Tina, what's a city in the metro that starts with the letter S?
F?
S, as in Steve.
Fairfax?
No, S.
S as in Sam.
Snake, Sam.
Oh, S.
Slinging. Shakopee. All right, question 3. Besides Bob, what's a common name for an uncle?
Besides what?
What is a common name for an uncle besides Bob?
Did you say Bob?
Yeah, give me a common name
Cash
for an
call.
uncle. Anything that's not Bob.
Oh, John.
Uncle John. That works. All right, name a state that Minnesotans like to visit in the winter.
Florida.
Bang. All right, last question. Name an advertiser whose commercials you expect to see during the Super Bowl.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. All right, we got five 5 answers from you. Thank you for that, Tina. Now we're going to see if you can match 2 of those. Ryder, who's the barfly for today's show?
All right. From my trip to Skinner's on Saturday, we talked to Robin, her favorite band, AC/DC, her favorite team, the Vikings, and here are her answers. Name a food people put Tabasco sauce on.
Chicken.
What's a city in the metro that starts with an S?
St. Paul.
Besides Bob, what's a common name for an uncle?
Dan.
Name a state Minnesotans like to visit in the winter.
Florida.
Come on, here we go.
What's a commercial you're going to see during the Super Bowl?
Bud Light.
Oh, man, we got Florida, but that was it. Tina, great effort on your part. I'm sorry to say you only matched 1 of the 5. Better luck next time, Tina. Thanks for playing. I'll tell you what we can do.
What?
We still got those tickets sitting here. I tell you what, if you want to steal those tickets, text the word STEAL, STEAL, to 651-989-ROCK. Right now, somebody who texts the word STEAL will have a shot to steal those very tickets. We're putting a midweek mixtape together on the show. So we were talking about, what if we had a sex tape? What would the soundtrack be? And as long as we're talking about sex, it's not always a turn on. The very suggestion that we're discussing sex for some people can be, that in itself is kind of titillating. That's kind of a turn on word, isn't it? Titillating. See what I did there? But there's a lot of words that have the exact opposite effect. 651-989-ROCK. Feel free to text in some of the words that turn you off, actually. But I'm reading about words that generally speaking across the board, study after study, these are very, very serious studies. Very smart people at places like Harvard look into these things.
Okay.
The words that turn people off. And some of these, it's amazing. I think it has to do with how old you are, because there's a certain time in your life where nothing is a turnoff. For example, smashing. Oh, man, we were smashing. When I was 14, if somebody said they were smashing, I was immediately like, hang on, I'll be right back. But that's a word. For the adult, I can see that's kind of a turn-off word. Top of mind, Zepp, is there anything that someone suggests to you that you're like, that's not really what I need to hear at all?
Well, I do actually have a rule, and that are words with the letter O in the middle, generally, starting with love. It's a fine. Now listen, hear me out now.
Okay, all right.
Love is a fine word to bring up, but guys associate the word love with being in the doghouse. So when when it comes to sexy time and your partner says the word love, we're thinking about, oh, I didn't do the household chores. It's a mood killer. And then schlog, scrog, bonk, pork, bone.
Okay, right.
Anything like that, just leave the O. If there's an O in the middle of the word, just kind of work around it, I guess.
I got you, like copulate. That's a turn
Oh,
off.
that's mine. Yeah, don't say that one.
Yeah, Congress.
Yeah.
Congress.
Congress. No.
Ryder, is there a specific letter you avoid, or is it general vibe?
No, my husband's on this step. Avoid the O in the middle because he hates it when I call it bone or boning. He's like, don't say that.
Yeah.
It's like, nothing for you tonight.
Something sexy, like can I hop up on St. George or something like that.
Well, there's a lot of those. You can get away with a lot if you throw the accent on it, like that one. Oh, could I get up on St. George? It just sounds funny.
Yeah.
Would you like to do some squat thrusts in the cucumber patch? And then suddenly that's okay to say. I was doing the horizontal greased weasel tango, wasn't I? And you're like, wait, hold on.
I like that one.
Say? But
Greased weasel tango.
Yeah, you just throw a Chinese, maybe even a Cockney accent. Oh, he was praying with the knees upward, wasn't he? And suddenly you're home free. You can say anything with the right accent. But back to good old fashioned. When I was a kid, this is funny because at the time when I was learning what sex was, I had a buddy, and it's hilarious to think that his name was Butchie. I mean, that to me just cracks me up. But I remember one day this kid Butchie came over and he goes, "Hey man, do you know what balling is?" And I was like, "Yeah, like we play ball in the driveway all the time." He goes, no man, balling, like to ball someone. And this is what he told me. I remember him saying like, "No, it's when people it's like when you just smack your balls into somebody." And I was like, "Oh really?" He goes, "Yeah. Girls love it." And we thought that's what. Yeah. And so there was a brief period of time in my life where I was like, I think that's where babies come from. You slam your balls into somebody, which is not far off. It was within range. But to this day, there are times I've heard people use that word more often than you would think. In the last few years, oh man, we used to bawl all the time, and I'm like, oh my God, stop saying you bawled somebody. That you might as well say, oh yeah, I'm really into teabagging. That goes hand in hand to me, or ball and ball, I think.
Right.
But I do love the what was the one I heard a guy? I did actually hear a man say with an English accent, "Oh yeah, well I spent the whole night attacking the Pink Fortress, didn't I?"
Hey,
like, oh my God!
Now come on, that's just over the top creative right there. He gets a point. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of turned me off. On the KQ Talking text line, Tamara wrote, moist. Just the word moist, a complete turnoff.
Hey, maybe you want to make it moist? I don't know how you work that one in.
I like that. That was pretty good, dude. I would try that out. I would take that out for a run.
All right.
Aaron just put in on the text line, grandparents.
Oh, no. Yeah,
that's
no.
a word. That's, boy.
Oh.
Hey, if we do this right and then we teach someone else to do it right, one day we'll be grandparents. And then, then the mood is completely gone.
Yeah,
That's right.
Tim went with a little off topic, but I just like the notion here. When I asked the wife if she wants to have sex, I just asked her if she wants a back rub. Yeah, back rub or foot rub will get you to
foot rub.
Scrogging.
Where you need to go, yeah.
No, the
banging, screwing.
The proper foot rub, that's not opening a door, that's kicking down the gates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got into the word screw for a while. I really liked using screw on the air and in my relationship, and it didn't work either way. It just made people cringe a little bit, but it was such a fun word. If you're a 70s kid growing up, you want to screw? Let's screw. Did you guys screw? I love it. I think that's a good one. That's a time capsule word. That's absolutely late 70s for me. The word that was the most used word for just high school conversation. But do you think they're screwing? Hey, man, do you think they're screwing? Come on. See, it's fun.
Smashing, humping, pounding, those all banging. They all have limited shelf life. But screwing, that was around for a long time. And I'm with you. I'm still, oh, my God, this is great. Someone just texted in the word simply, I'm pregnant. Yeah.
Oh, no.
The Tracy Morgan and the I'm going to get everybody pregnant. I never got that one. Like, that was never a turn on for me.
Turn off word. Discharge.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, well.
That'll do it.
I mean, once discharge is entered into the conversation, it's over anyway, right? I mean, discharge, game over. Finisher. That was, what do they yell at the end of Mortal Kombat when you beat your opponent? Yeah, finisher. I had a roommate that used to do that. We'd hear him all sitting upstairs just, finisher!
No.
Yeah, he wasn't, he'd take his girlfriend upstairs, and be like, okay, well, he'll be down in a moment.
Yeah. The first band house I ever lived in, which is a word for, it's a flop house with nothing but local musicians crashing. It was disgusting and perfect in every way. And one of the guys in the house, he didn't scream finisher, but he would always just have this thing. He'd say, hey guys, just, because we all shared rooms. No one had their own room.
Right.
He'd go, hey, I'm going to be I'll be in the first room. Just give me a few minutes, all right? And he'll go, you don't knock or anything, but he would always say, like, you'll know when it's over. And then we would literally hear him in there with his girlfriend, and then he would simply start,
no.
And the first time he did it was funny. We all laughed. But then it turned out to be like, no, every time. And it was like, after a while, we're like, hey, dude, that's weird.
No.
The woo-hoo-hoo high-pitched laugh?
Yeah.
What does she think of that?
Clown laugh.
Yeah.
It's love.
Guys don't want to hear other guys. When you hear their girlfriends, it's kind of sexy, You might even, whatever. But when you hear, I remember the first time hearing one of my buddies in the next room, and I'm like, oh, no, that dude, don't be making noise. Tim, again, I loved it. I greased her. Yeah. I don't know if I greased her, yeah.
The texts are flying. My old girlfriend and I used to ask each other if you want to snap one off. Okay. I get it.
I like that. Yeah.
Here's another one. Again, I think this is more suited with the accent. Crashing the custard truck. Here, if you're a Led Zeppelin fan, you could say it's time to open the gates of Mordor.
No, jeez.
Yeah.
Zeppelin or Tolkien fans there.
Yeah, right.
Oh, this is a great one. I thought it would be larger. I That's a buzzkill, to be sure.
Yeah, for sure.
There were times I remember in high school, high school sports, you find yourself after a game or after practice, you're in that communal shower, and it's a little awkward at first. But I do remember, and I've used this line myself, but one of the funniest things I ever heard was an upperclassman looking at like a freshman and going, "Hey, man, that looks just like a penis, but smaller."
That poor kid.
That poor kid. That was good. And of course,
Tina,
my first thought was, thank God he didn't say that to me. And then my second thought was, I'm going to use that one.
Yeah. Tina didn't like it when her husband would say, "Wetting the willy." I want to wet the willy. Yeah, that's, it rolls off the tongue. It's got a nice one, but it's no going heels to Jesus,
Ray on the text line. Ray, I once said to my wife that my grilling skills will leave the maiden moist and wanting. And then he said, that did not work.
No.
No. All right, I can kind of see that one running aground, if you will. So many. Oh, this is a great one for the summer with the state fair coming. Batter dipping the corn dog. I'm just saying. If you want to get there. Boy, man, the creativity really of the KQ listening pool really comes out when you talk about, hey, what's a euphemism for euphemism? Hell, I hardly knew him. What's that?
The winters are long, as you now know. Yeah.
Oh my God, this might be my favorite. Thank you, whoever texted this one in. Caulking the tub.
That a little too close to household chores again.
Yeah, that's true. It's a little close. It's right there against it. Here's another. I have friends that call it cleaning. All right, so what words turn you off? And it's funny because at the same time we're trying to put up a mixtape for the words, for the music songs, the titles that would accompany our sex tape. It's a great mixed bag. The sex terms that turn you off, though. Let's keep this going. 651-989-ROCK. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Good Wednesday morning. It is February the 5th. We were discussing sex terms that are actually kind of turn-offs. We were talking about all kinds of, it just went down the euphemism rabbit hole, which is a euphemism for rabbit holes. I guess. I'm not really sure. Still coming in on the KQ Talking text line 651-989-ROCK. Now, this is one I'm amazed I've never heard before. Wash a load, but if she isn't interested, you can do it by hand.
I mean, is that a sex term or is that a declaration? I think we're getting off topic here.
You know what? There's no getting off topic when the topic is sex. It just please, it just gets everybody excited and everybody moves in. We're talking about turnoffs, and then suddenly we have more text messages than any other subject in the history of the KQ Morning Show. There's nothing turning off. How about this? Let's see. Bone storming.
Yes.
Not barnstorming.
Bone storming.
Bone storming.
That reminds me of Storm the Trenches. Yeah, I had a buddy who said time. He would say that after happy hour. He'd go, well, I suppose, the Minnesota goodbye. Well, sure. I suppose. Time to go home and storm the trenches. I'm like, all right. Okay. More than one? Storm the trench, maybe. It was just singular. I don't know what Nick had going on. Getting
back to an actual turnoff, this one on the text line, have you been tested? That's a turnoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The answer's always yes, by the way.
It's got to be. Yeah. Hey, man, don't blame me that test didn't come. That's the test's fault, not mine.
All right.
Sorry, man. That's got nothing to do with me. I have friends that call it cleaning. I get that. Like, hey, do you want to do some cleaning? You gotta have a word to use or something that that you can talk about it in public without people knowing what you're getting into. Zepp, you mentioned
cleaning would lead to cleaning in my neighborhood. That's a huge turn on. When I come home and there's some chores that are done, I'm ready to do some cleaning.
I know, but now we're too late. Yeah, it's too late. We're tired. It's like having a big meal. But no, it's cleaning it out of the house. But that's not all right. A little cleaning. You're right. Chicks dig that.
Yeah. Zepp, you mentioned earlier any words with the letter O in them turn you off. There's another one that was added to the list, progressive.
Right. Well, nothing turns me off, but yeah, these are words I've used. Although, Robin, I don't know where you came up with this one, but this would slobber boogie on the meat flute.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
That's, yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yes, you may. Slobber boogie on the meat flute. All right.
Well, fair enough. There's always the conversation that eventually becomes, well, do you want to eat some beaver? And I mean like actually the animal, beaver, because in the state of Minnesota, we are not legally permitted to eat beaver anymore.
Boo.
As crazy as this sounds, are those little furry friends with the big teeth? If you find one, you can trap it, you can kill it, but you can't eat that sumbitch. Because last year, a senator from St. Paul, a state senator, Fong Hauge, indicated there were concerns about the potential for disease or parasite contraction from eating the rodent. And he said there's a lack of research on the safety of eating beavers, so he put it into a bill that went through. It's like, hey, no, you can't do it in Minnesota anymore. But now, another state senator named Steve Green, he's up in arms. He's going, wait, this is nuts. What are you talking about? Now, I for one have never eaten beaver, but apparently State Senator Steve Green has. He's got some thoughts we can share with you here.
We can't eat beaver. That's just ridiculous. I think maybe it got overlooked. I don't know what happened there. What are we talking about? We're talking about the legalities of eating beaver. That's just ridiculous. So I eat beaver. It's fine. No one's going to get in trouble for doing it. I don't know why this is in the bill.
There hasn't been enough research. Has there been? You're right. Have you done research on fast food? Yeah, that doesn't look good either for, I don't know, beaver. What about muskrat? Can I stew up a good muskrat?
Interestingly enough, the ban applies only to nuisance beavers. Beavers that are trapped are still fair game, apparently. That's an odd one.
That's
right
redundant
there.
Nuisance beaver.
Pretty much. So there's a regulated beaver trapping season in the state of Minnesota. This is fascinating to me. How many beavers do you think are trapped in this state in a year? The answer, 20 to 30,000.
Oh, geez.
Surplus beavers most years. That's a 20 to 30,000 beavers. I mean, in your life, how many beavers have you seen? 8? Yeah, 10, maybe a dozen.
A lot more than that. We used to go out and blast them. They would build, what they do is they build dams. That's their thing, right? They knock down the trees. Beavers, by the way, can knock down a backyard full of trees in a morning, before you've had your coffee. They're amazing to watch just go to work. They really are. But anyway, they build dams and they'll dam up your land. So they would flood out our fields and that sort of thing. Sure. That's where that good old explosive tannerite comes in, a little bit of that. In the old beaver dam, you sit up on the road and you blow that thing all to hell.
That reminds me. That's another expression. Do you want to go blow the beaver dam? And sometimes, sometimes it works and it sets an amorous tone, and sometimes it doesn't. It's always a crapshoot. These things are always a crapshoot. It's amazing when you think about how much time in your life is spent thinking about sex. I mean, from an early age, and then the terms that people use. We already talked about it. Screw. Why did screwing fall out of fashion? What was wrong? What was the good old-fashioned 70s screw?
Yeah, just a screw, which, it's not really. It's a poke. There was another good one. That goes way back. That's old South Dakota right there. Yeah, where the guys would come in, and they would always do that thing where they just kind of wipe one side of their mustache and got a little poke. Got a poke this morning. All right. I don't.
Wow.
What are you doing right there? And by the way, whoever, your phone number, I don't know, texted in, there's no name associated with it. Ask Zepp about his Red Wings. That's not funny. What? That's crossing the line.
Well, hold on.
That's going to get somebody in trouble.
Oh, come on. You can't drop that and not explain what the hell you're talking about.
Google it. I don't think I honestly can. Ryder will probably hit the dump button. But if if a lady was, experiencing that time of the month and you went right,
anyway,
and then
so moving on.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Be careful what you wish for. That's the lesson of the band Free right there. That song, All Right Now, was a ginormous international smash hit. So big, in fact, that the pressure the label mounted on the band, okay, we need another hit. And they were like, well, We don't have one. We've been making really good records for a while, and that one just seemed to have captured the moment. It ran itself up the zeitgeist flagpole, and literally internal and external pressures broke the band apart after trying to follow All Right Now with a hit. And by the way, fun fact, they were teenagers. That band, when the first Free album came out, it's like two 18-year-olds, a 17-year-old, and a 16-year-old. They don't still make bands like that anymore. They do, but then they put them in pointy shoes, and then they make them sing pop music. There was a time when four scruffy teenagers that knew how to play their instruments could get something going on. Free, one of my favorite woulda, coulda, shoulda bands. I mean, I don't have a problem with Bad Company, but I'm a Free guy. That's all I'm trying to say.
Right on.
And I like Free stuff. I mean, I'm a fan of Free stuff too. I've always said the best tasting beer is the one someone else bought for me. I've maintained that mindset since the early 80s. And I've spent a lot of time in hotels. I toured for years in my old band, and I lived in hotels. There was a year, I believe it was 1990, where at the end of the year, our travel agent sent a Christmas card. She said, "Merry Christmas. In case you're wondering, you spent 327 nights in hotels this year."
Wow.
I was like, holy crap. That's what happens when you're in your early 20s and don't know how to say no.
Yeah.
But it was some crazy number like that. But that said, along the way, I've left with a few items. I mean, and especially not big towels, but hand towels. I found that I was using hand towels. I would utilize them for packing purposes. Like I would be packing my suitcase in the middle of a tour that went on forever, and I wanted to separate the really dirty clothes from the kind of dirty clothes and the clean clothes when I'd be getting on the next plane, and I'd stuck all my stuff in a suitcase, and I would use hand towels as my dividers. You know, like okay, here this part of the suitcase is all my really disgusting clothes, and I would cover those with a hand towel, and then I would put the sort of disgusting clothes on top of those, and another hand towel, and then my clean clothes, and then I would get wherever I was going, and all my clothes stunk.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
because you were using hand towels from a hotel.
It never did anything, and I never kept the towel, but I kept insisting that would work one day. And, but anyway, there's a company in Miami now. The company is called Linen Tracking Technology. And they created,
what do they do?
Yeah, exactly. Geez, spell it out for us, fellas. They created a tiny little cheap chip hotels put in their towels, in their robes, and other items. Over 2,000 hotels are already using these chips, and they will find if you take that hotel towel or absolutely the robe or any number of items, they'll track you down. Now, the hotel's not probably going to call the police, but they will find you and say, "Hey, we know you took a towel. Could you please send it back to us?"
They want us to send it back?
Yeah, they want you to bring it back or send it back, or they'll just charge your card for the value of that towel. Because, you left a card when you checked out. You left the information. Linen Tracking Technology.
Linen
The average
tracking.
hotels say they lose up to $50,000 a year from items stolen from the rooms. $50,000.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
you
lot of
overcharge us $500,000 a year. I think you're still coming out ahead for crying out. I mean, I don't know.
There is that.
I don't take towels anymore. There might have been a time, but if you're hard up for a towel, first of all, if you're on vacation, but you don't have any towels at home that you can use, I mean, maybe your priority need to be rearranged there is all I'm saying. But I don't know. I stay in flea bags a lot still these days. I'm cheap when it comes to sleeping. I said recently I was on the road and I slept in a hotel bed that was wet.
Oh, yeah.
Just one side of the bed was wet. A lot of people would have just marched right back there. I talked to people that said I would have walked right out the front door. I don't care how much money I lost, which was about $68. Try and find a hotel room for $68.
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, not by the hour either. That was for the whole night. And but anyway, so I don't want their frickin' towels. I rarely shower at hotels anyway, even if I'm there for a long time. But all right, and now they're going to be even more expensive because they got a frickin' chip in them. All right.
So if they're not going to let us steal the towels, do we have to up our game? We got to take something bigger and better.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's not chip.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you say that. There are plenty of other things to be stolen from hotels. Hotel owners, a list of the craziest things they found missing from hotels. It's pretty impressive. Many times, people take the entire fridge, the minibar fridge. Not the items in the fridge. They just take the fridge,
thing?
which begs the question: how do you get it out of the hotel? What
do you mean? A mini fridge?
A mini fridge. How do you get it out without being detected?
Yeah, I don't. Create a diversion, I guess. There's that back stairwell, I suppose. A lot of times they don't.
Also on the list, a grand piano was taken from a hotel. 3 people wheeled it out the front door and right down the street. But that's like anything else. Like when you go to the ball game and you want to upgrade your own seat, you just look the usher in the eye, hand him a $5, and he thinks, "Oh, that guy's supposed to be here. He's tipping me for standing here with a towel." If you act like you know what you're doing, I guarantee if the three of us put on work, like a uni, put on the jumpsuit,
like coveralls.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. If we wore matching coveralls that said something. Acme,
Steve's
whatever.
Moving company.
Thank you. And walked into any hotel downtown and there's a grand piano in the lobby, we could get that thing at least out of the front door before somebody would go, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, right.
If you act like you're supposed to be doing what you're doing, 9 times out of 10, no one stops you.
Sure.
That's because they don't. Yeah, they don't know what they're doing in their job. They don't want to be called. I don't exactly know what I'm doing here in this hotel lobby today. I'm not going to stop the Acme Piano Moving Company from taking the grand piano out. That's ballsy. And then, but now you've got a grand piano that you've got to deal with.
That's a headache.
I like this one. A stuffed boar's head was removed from a hotel.
That's fun.
A stuffed boar's head. I didn't steal this is not from a hotel, but I did steal a full bearskin rug once from a frat house. A little different.
Oh, yeah.
A little different. It was begging to be stolen. I mean, the frat probably stole it from another frat house. You know what I mean? It was like one of those.
I'm sure it was clean.
Yeah, it was, dude, it was the worst mistake I ever made because I put that bad boy in my room and within like 3 days I was like, I can't live in this house anymore. That thing was, but I went out and bought the powder you drop on it to vacuum. They didn't have Febreze in the 80s. It would have saved my life. But we're playing this. It was a band gig at a frat house, and it was a classic, Delta Tau Delta vibe. It was a crazy night, and in the charter room or the green, whatever they called it, wherever they get together and talk frat stuff. I don't know, like their headquarter room upstairs. That's where they put us for a dressing room. And there's this bearskin rug. And I was like, man, that thing is awesome. And then I went, hey, look at that window and look at my brother's pickup truck underneath that window. They're begging me to steal something. I think it's going to be the bearskin rug. And that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, they had it coming.
But yeah, like I said, the last laugh was on me because it probably was also flea ridden. You know what I mean? If I look back, I brought it back to Atlanta. I got it back in my house with my buddies, and literally within the first week, they're like, "Dude, get that thing out of this house." There's there's dogs outside the window howling at the moon because the bearskin rug is attracting them somehow.
You don't know if you have lice or crabs.
Oh,
and I guess there's a difference.
Just don't want to know anything that's happened on that rug in the past. It was like, just let's just cover it in beer and see if that helps. Speaking of which, how about this? Also stolen from a hotel, the hotel owner's dog.
Oh come on. Oh.
Take your dog to work day or not. Take your dog from work day. A medieval sword. I like this one. This is another one that we would have to all put on the work clothes. A suit of armor. You're not getting out without a suit of armor unless you're dressed for the job.
Or you're wearing it, perhaps. You know?
If you could somehow sneak in, everybody would be so freaked out. They'd assume you were a ghost.
Clunking along.
Haunted. I'm not messing with it.
I was on tour once, and we were in San Francisco, and I got a note at the production office of the venue we were playing, and we were in town for like the better part of a week. And a buddy from Atlanta, I hadn't seen him in years. He was a local musician. We had been in the scene together. Just got a note, hey, so and so called, and I called the guy back. His name was Glenn, and he's like, hey man, I'm in San Francisco. I was like, oh dude, let's get lunch tomorrow, or come over. And he's like, where are you staying? I'll come by the hotel. He comes to the hotel, comes to my room. I open the door, and I'm like, oh, life hasn't been good to you lately. I mean, he looked, as they say, unhoused, or at the time, he looked damn homeless. And I was like, dude, are you all right? He goes, yeah, man, I'm good. I'm living in a place. And then the more he talked, I was like, oh, and you picked up a speed habit, it sounds like, too. I mean, he was nuts. And then he's in my room, and I'm like, how do I don't want to go to lunch. This is a big mistake. I was trying to be. And then he said, at some point, he said, hey, man, while I'm here, could I take a shower? And I didn't want to say yes, but I was also like, I don't know anyone that needs a shower more than this guy.
Yeah.
And he went in there and he turned that water on and it was 22 minutes. And I'm like, man, just And then he totally cleaned up. He put on the same clothes he was wearing, of course. He didn't bring a change of clothes.
That's a nice touch.
But he did look a lot better. He goes, thanks, man. I really needed that. And I'm thinking, how many people do you know that come to town? Or how many people are you hitting up for showers? But here's the thing. He left. He goes, I'm just going to take these shampoos and the liquid soap stuff. I'm like,
sure.
I said, dude, there's more under the sink. I went and grabbed the backups.
Don't forget the TP.
And then on the way, he opens the door to the hotel, and there's the maid cart in the hallway. And I grabbed the
jackpot.
They used to have like plastic bags in the hotels for you to put your dry cleaning in or shoes to get shined or whatever. Just in the closet. I opened one of those. I handed it to him. He put in 40 bars of soap, or the little. It was bar soap, but the shampoo and conditioner. He just filled an entire maid's cart of stuff, and I'm just thinking like, boy, this is going to be bad if she comes out of that room and sees you. But he just took it all. A couple of washcloths. He's like, see you later, man. It never occurred to him to say, hey, what about lunch? I mean, the whole thing was, I'm just here for the shower.
And she's getting paid $4 an hour. She's not going to say anything. She just shake her head and keep moving. And thank God he got a shower.
I'd love to have a great follow-up, but maybe not a surprise. Never saw that guy again.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a good outcome then. That worked out for you. For both of you, it sounds like.
Drummer. I mean, the guy was great back in the day. What he's doing now, I really don't know, but I hope he probably still has some of that soap. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Go through that stuff all day long. All right, there is memory lane. Nothing like it. Bearskin rugs, stealing soap from hotels. It's a beautiful thing. Top 5 at 9 coming up. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Get after it, Black Sabbath. My God.
Yeah.
Sweet Leaf working for me. Let's get right to your top 5 at 9. And speaking of Black Sabbath, this just in. Announced today. Black Sabbath have announced their final ever live show. They will play a gig this summer in Birmingham, England on July 5th. It's called, they're dubbing this show Back to the Beginning. It's not just Black Sabbath, but it's the original lineup. Ozzy, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and drummer Bill Ward, who's been put back together with duct tape and spit, apparently. Frankenstein monster Bill Ward will be on drums. Okay. They will play together for the first time in 2 decades. Villa Park in their hometown, as I said, of Birmingham, England. And by the way, not just Black Sabbath. This is a one-day event. Black Sabbath with support from Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Alice in Chains, Lamb of God, Anthrax, Hailstorm, Mastodon.
What do you mean they're supporting them? They're just going to be there to cheer them on, to help them to get on stage?
I'm like, wait a minute.
As roadies or...
These bands don't usually get up and just do one song each, but they're probably not going to do much more than that because there's also going to be performances from, this is like an SCTV skit, Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins, Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, Slash from Guns N' Roses, Rudy Sarzo, Sammy Hagar, Wolfgang Van Halen, Tom Morello, who's the musical director for the day. And by the way, several more artists. I mean, it's a one-day event with they're calling it the greatest heavy metal show ever, and I have a hard time arguing that fact.
How long do I have to renew my passport?
Yeah.
You haven't. Well, the show's July 5th, so get on it, you know. You got to get over there.
Yeah. So when I shelled out $350 to see Black Sabbath, the original lineup, play for the last time on their farewell tour, I don't know, 9 years ago. Yeah, I want about $300 of that back.
Well, this is just one, but this isn't a tour. This is just one day. And
okay. Got it. No, this is very exciting. I'm excited for everybody that's going to be there.
It's going to be pretty intense. It's great. I'm just happy that Ozzy's got one more gig in him, and it's probably not much more than that. He's in rough shape, but what a day it's going to be. I'm excited. I'm not going to pretend to say, I think I'm going to try to make that gig. Not a chance. Because those gigs, to me, are best enjoyed on my computer or TV.
Sure.
Yeah, I just that many metalheads in one place. No, I'm too old for that. But for everybody who's going to go, congrats. You got a little bit more in the tank than I do. Number 4 on your top 5 at 9. Big football game this Sunday as the Kansas City Chiefs are going to go for their third Lombardi Trophy in a row, which no one's ever done in the Super Bowl era. There's never been a three-peat. But what there has been in other sports, there have been some three-peats. And every time there is a three-peat, Pat Riley, the basketball coach turned general manager turned president of the Miami Heat, every time there's a three-peat, he gets paid because he trademarked the phrase three-peat back in the late 80s. When the Lakers were going for a three-peat, he said, hey, that's something that's probably going to be used over and over in sports. I'm going to grab the trademark for it. He's got several different trademarks on variations of the term, and he has made some serious bank over the years. He did mention Lakers guard Byron Scott was the first one who used the term in a Lakers. Hey, man, if we go back to back, that's a three-peat. And Pat Riley said, that's great. Go run some more defensive drills. I'm calling my attorney right now.
Yeah, right. That's why he's a head coach, and you're just a dumb dribbler. I was so like with 3 one-night stands in a row. Do I owe him some money? I've never done that. But
well, you didn't put out a line of Zepp three-peat merch, did you?
No, not yet.
You can still do it. You know, a little screen, 3 faces on the shirt, 3 names, whatever.
State
3
fair.
nicknames.
I'm writing it down right now.
Man. If you are a Chiefs fan, the bad news for you as a Chiefs fan, the good news for Eagles fans or other people in the world who just think that it's only fair if the Chiefs don't win 3 in a row. Pat Riley himself has coached teams that have been going for their 3rd straight title. They've never done it. When he's coaching, he can get 2, but he's never gotten 3 himself. So if that applies at all on Sunday, we'll find out. But of course, we all know the world outside of Kansas City cheering for anything but the Chiefs to win on Sunday. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9, Waffle House. We don't have them here, but, you know, a lot of people traveling. If you're heading south over the next few months and you're going to take in a Waffle House meal, and really, why wouldn't you? I mean, come on. For the songs alone, fun fact about Waffle House, they all have a jukebox, right? They still have jukeboxes. And the first few, it used to be the first few 45s, and now it's digital, but the first few tracks still that you can play at a Waffle House jukebox are songs about Waffle House.
No.
I'm not kidding. And you can Google them. They're on YouTube. There's a lady who's making some waffles. They have all these like country songs about the Waffle House. And of course, no God-fearing Waffle House lover like myself late at night didn't play those over and over and over just to the chagrin of other customers who were in between cigarettes while having a meal. But here's the long story short. Waffle House has added an egg surcharge to all eggs at Waffle House, extra 50 cents per egg. I'm surprised. I didn't know I was already paying 50 cents for an egg. What the hell are you talking about?
And they're expensive, yeah.
I was at lunch the other day, and I noticed there's a big run on eggs right now, man. It's like toilet paper in 2020. People are stocking up on eggs. And I'll be honest with you, I'm more of an egg beater guy. I go for the egg whites more often because I think that's better for me. I don't know.
Okay.
I just, you know what I do? I pour it in the pan. I add like some sausage and chopped vegetables. I just do like omelets or scrambles because I don't have the patience to make it a nice omelet. It turns into a scramble. And I just use egg whites because at the end of the day, it all tastes the same.
Right. I go with the Rocky breakfast every morning. Just 6 eggs, half dozen right there, raw, gulp them down. No. Daryl Bowe tried it once and puked, though, in 7th grade. That was fun.
I've seen people over the years every now and again. My son didn't do it, but one of his teammates did. At our house, just crashed at the house one night. They get up and soccer player, and he's like, yeah, man, the raw egg thing, I've been doing it. And Connell's like, I dare you. And he put 2 of them in a glass and shook them up and swallowed them. And I was like, dude, that's not help. You're still 5'7". And I know that's fine for soccer.
Walking tall.
Yeah.
Walking tall, man. It's that's another sex term. Can I scramble your eggs?
Oh, hey.
Throw that in
that?
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but not those eggs. I mean, it's a euphemism.
No.
We don't want to talk about your eggs and this time of the month. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. Spring break is right around the corner, and Miami Beach, Florida would like to remind you that you or the younger people in your life are absolutely not welcome. For years now, Miami Beach has been putting the word out. No, seriously, stop at Daytona. If you have to come south, Fort Lauderdale's as far as we're going to let you go. Miami Beach is not for spring breakers. They've got a pretty great video up that looks initially like it's going to be fun in Miami Beach, and then it turns sour very quickly. There's a website, $100 parking, $100 to park your car on the streets. Curfews, heavy police presence, security checkpoints, strong DUI enforcement. The following is illegal. This is for spring break week in Miami Beach.
Okay.
Consumption of alcohol in public. Smoking on beaches or in parks. Any narcotic, including marijuana.
Come on.
DUI. Driving a scooter irresponsibly, that's a redundant, is it not? Has anyone ever driven a scooter responsibly?
Never, ever.
Violence of any kind. Prohibited on the beach. Cigarettes, coolers, inflatable devices, tents, tables, loud music, glass containers, styrofoam, plastic straws, balloons.
And heterosexual sex.
Apparently so. Man.
Sounds like a spring break bingo card.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, where are the thrill seekers among us? Who's gonna go now? Screw it, I'm definitely going to Miami Beach. I think we should. We should take the morning show to Miami Beach. They won't expect it. We're not college kids. They'll think we're gonna come down there and follow along and follow the rules. Nah, not a chance. Hey, want to give a quick morning shout out. South Minneapolis, we're thinking of you. South Minneapolis, Minnesota, a fine place to be. Yep. And in fact, in just a few minutes, Dan Chesky from Dan's Southside Marine's going to phone in. We'll check in with Dan about the Bloomington Boat Show. That's coming up momentarily, speaking of South Minneapolis, the South Side. But number 1 on your top 5 at 9, and by the way, talk about saving the best for last. Today, in America, we're not making this up, is National Fart Day. Okay. Let them go, baby.
All right.
There's several other days. July 31st is actually Fart Out Loud Day. But, hang on, sorry, my bad. Farting generally considered inappropriate. It's a violation of the concept of etiquette, but really it's important. Don't hold it in. Let it go. If you want to stand up and walk outside, be a gentleman or a lady, go for it. But don't keep them in. Let them go. Bernard Clemens of London, England, holds the Guinness Book of World Record. Longest fart on record, recorded with witnesses, video, audio. 2 minutes, 42 seconds.
Wow.
That's called sphincter control. Yeah.
That's called a Wisconsin diet.
That's a guy, you know those guys that, you blow up a balloon and then you slowly let it out and it makes that sound. That guy's, I don't want to know about the ballooning quality of his sphincter, but boy, that's intense. Yeah. Holy smokes, man.
That was 10 seconds. And how long was his?
2 minutes, 42 seconds. That's like the length of Black Sabbath's Paranoid, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
That's right.
Which has been compared to a fart. But not by me. I'm just saying. Crazier things have happened. National Fart Day. Let them loose, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great day to carry a lighter. I'm just saying. Yeah. Let them go. Flame them out. Enjoy yourselves. There's your top 5 at 9 for Wednesday, February 5th.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.